Britain is about to witness the birth of robot wars.
This is Robot War.
So are you ready for it?
Ultimately decide whether they emerge as winners or losers.
The robot wars is back. Are you ready for it?
As you've just seen, this show is bound to be a belter.
Roboteers, stand by. From Bramford, Ipswich, Chaos 2.
The pneumatic flipper powered by a fire extinguisher can throw virtually anything, but what happens if the CO2 runs out? A chaos theory, chaos fact, they're unbeaten with this robot.
Hi, we're Chaos 2 team. This is Richard and Ian, and I'm George. And if you know anything at all about Robot Wars, you already know who we are.
From Belmont, in Hereford, Exterminator.
This Silver Dream machine has an axe, a Streamex operating mechanism, aluminium shell, 25 miles an hour top speeds, but we've noticed steering problems for the heavyweight of this tussle.
Hi, I'm Marlon Pritchard, this is Simon Mulwin, and Paul Lewis has gone AWOL. This is our robot Exterminator, with the improved axe this year that's going to knock holes in just about everything we meet.
And for the first time in this series, we've placed in the war zone Shun to worry for opponents, the phenomenal pushing power, and Matilda, and a worry for us and you and everyone, she has no self-control whatsoever.
Roboteers, stand by.
Rarely chaotic. George Francis at the controls of Chaos 2 and Marlon Pritchard with Exterminator.
2, 1. Activate.
Style of Chaos 2 to go straight onto the attack, and it's done so again! Slamming into Exterminator, that is 99 kilos of robot! Chaos 2 has just tossed simply into the air. Look at this! Bang! Slam! Exterminator can right itself, thankfully, using the side prods there, and also the axe weaponry. Chaos 2, another little flip, using the fire extinguisher powered CO2 flipper, which seems to me to be in some trouble now. Can they close that flipper down? George Francis frantically trying. I don't think he can. I think it's stuck. An Exterminator has sensed something is wrong here with the all-powerful Chaos 2. And the axe weapon of Exterminator has got a hold on Chaos 2. And George Francis basically here, well, basically, as Robot Wars Tactics will tell you, is running away. That's what he's doing. George Francis, he comes back on the attack, but he knows he's got to stay out of trouble. I think the weapon... No, it's not. It's not in position. Now is it, I wonder? It's come down, but the Exterminator boys know they've got a real chance here. Chaos 2 flipping Exterminator over again in fine style, so the weapon's okay now. It did jam. Has it jammed again? The crowd know where they want Exterminator to go. This is Shunt with the bulldozer. I wonder if Exterminator here is immobilised. Shunt pushing this giant of a robot across the war zone floor. The ref bot having a check. Exterminator, what a bright start, and Chaos 2 was wobbling, it was on the ropes, but I think Exterminator is counted out. What a shame. Matilda can come and have some fun, and Shunt as well. Well, it doesn't matter that it's self-righted now because it has been counted out by the ref bot. The contest is over. Chaos 2, just to add insult to injury, has flipped Exterminator into the flywheel of Matilda. Look at this. And look at the pieces literally being ripped away from the frame of Exterminator there. Torn apart. The aluminium shell of Exterminator. They know they're a beaten team. He was worried, George Francis, let me tell you.
Exterminator immobilised, given the red card by Refbot. Exterminator, exterminated. Chaos 2, go through!
From Clondalkin, Dublin, Dietor.
They always win the best sports award on Robot Wars. They never get very far. Petrol on board, fur-lined, flame jets all over the arena. Get the picture?
Hi, I'm Kieran Byrne. I'm the armour. This is Pete Redmond, he's the captain. And Joe Gavin, the electrician. This is the robot Dietor 2. We're here to kick ass and chew bubblegum, and we're all out of gum.
From Langport, in Somerset, Wheelie Big Cheese.
the semi-finals of the Fourth Wars on a judge's decision. I love the titanium throw. It can toss 800 kilos, powered by 2 golf cart motors. Will this be a spree for the Brie?
Hello, I'm Roger. This is Murray. This is John. We're the Really Big Cheese team from Somerset. This is our robot, all built out of titanium. Toughest robot on the block. Here to smash everything else to bits.
Yeah, but we put 2 of our house robots in with you. Dead Metal with the weapon synergy. Also, the frightening figure of the invincible Sir Kill-a-Lot.
Roboteers, stand by.
Roger Plant at the controls of Wheelie Big Cheese and Peter Redman there with Diotor.
3, 2, 1.
Diotor's got to dance and prance and stay out of range of that mighty titanium flipper, and it's done its own little bit of shoveling work there early on. Diotor is Dr. Zulu at the controls as well with Peter Redman. Kieran Byrne, as he calls himself. Look at the eyes, they're great, aren't they? Roger Plant builds and designs robots. That's all he does, actually. Well, apart from taking his 4 German Shepherd dogs out for a walk. Oh! One of the eyes has come off Diotor. Oh, they've turned over. Look at the attack here. Really Big Cheese flips him up and over, and eye shatters completely. Diotor with the spikes on the side to help itself right, I presume. Tossed around the arena by Wheelie Big Cheese. They must self-right shortly, otherwise they'll be counted out. There's the red bot coming in, and Kill-a-Lot as well. Now that's out of order, Kill-a-Lot, because Diotor was not in a CPZ. It had not yet been counted out. Kill-a-Lot should not be doing this. Red bot, get in there. And that's a yellow card! A yellow card for Kill-a-Lot. A new feature of this series of Extreme. Red bot finally stamping his authority, and also giving Diotor the red card, of course. They're out of it. They were immobilised. And now the house robots can come in and finally dump Diotor in the pit or wherever they want to. On the angle grinder there on this side of the arena. Now Kill-a-Lot can have its chance. But the house robots, for me, have been getting away with far too much for far too long. And that's why we've said to Redbot, go in there and use your authority on Kill-a-Lot. Well, rather you than me, Redbot. But Diotor, of course, in bits and pieces. Same old story. Nothing new there then. But they're great sports and they'll be back again. Look at the fur. Why do they... Look at the fur. It's shredded. There's like a cat's tail in there. Why do they keep lining it with fur? Over the flame pit. There's a little bit of a tail now on Dead Metal as well. The war zone is strewn with parts of Diotor. But of course, where there's a loser, it means we have a winner. Wheelie Big Cheese, the second of our robots through to the quarterfinals of the All-Stars competition in this series of Extreme.
From Durham, Firestorm 3.
A wedge-shaped robot with the flipping arm, just the heavier here at 100 kilos, the faster 2 at 12 miles an hour, electric power to ignite our Firestorm.
Hello, my name is Graham Bourne. This is Alex Mordew, and the newest member of the team, Hazel Heslop. This is our robot Firestorm. We're back for another Wars, revamped, ready to go again, ready to do what we can, ready to win.
From Thornhill, Panic Attack.
Wearing protective skirts this time around, the weapon can lift and grab. 2 lorry windscreen motors provide the power. This machine's never failed to reach at least the semi-finals of the main Robot Wars.
Hello, we're Team Panic Attack. My name's Kim Davis, this is my son Michael, and this is Christian. This is our robot Panic Attack. This year, we're here to cause some serious damage. We're going to mangle, maim, and crush.
And for a feistier fight, we've thrown in our house robot pair, Dead Metal, all crushing arms and flashing saw. And the mighty Sir Kill-a-Lot with a lance. He's in no mood to dance and prance.
Roboteers, stand by.
Firestorm team there. Graham Bone, Alex Mordew and Hazel Hislop. They're the Panic Attack boys. Strong start by Panic Attack, immediately on the attack, but is that dangerous because they've gone over the top of Firestorm and Firestorm 3 using that pneumatic flipper straight away. And Panic Attack in trouble here. It was almost like a suicidal lunge at Firestorm 3. flicking Panic Attack up and over, rocking and crashing. It's using its forklift weapons to try and right here with Kim Davis at the controls. He's a maintenance manager by trade, but driven onto the arena sidewall by Firestorm 3. You can see Graham Bone at the controls there using that pneumatic flipper to pin Panic Attack onto the side walls. And Panic Attack in real trouble here in this All-Stars clash for a place, don't forget, in the All-Stars quarterfinals. There's Dead Metal and also Kill-A-Lot. Dead Metal on the slam. I think trying to thrust, to be honest. Panic Attack out of the arena. Also taking a cursory nudge is Firestorm. There, once again getting completely in underneath, actually. Slipping away through, but into the CPZ, which is dangerous, because the house robots can move in there. Refbot having a look. How long has Panic Attack been immobilised? Is Panic Attack immobilised? The forklift is waggling, but it is being counted down and counted out here, Panic Attack. And Firestorm 3 has done it again to the attack, boys.
Cease. From Hemel Hempstead in Hertfordshire, Behemoth.
They say this big, cumbersome-looking robot is indestructible, not the quickest around with 7 miles an hour top speeds. The pneumatic scoop, not the most destructive, but they are so difficult to beat.
Hi, I'm Kane Aston,
Anthony Pritchard,
and Michael Pritchard. We're here with Behemoth. We're back this time, bigger, better, bolder.
From Middleton Cheney, Banbury in Oxfordshire, Hypnodisc.
Sleek and mean, twice a grand finalist, slightly the heavier here, and it's used that extra weight to give the disc twice as much power as before. Terrifying.
Hi, I'm Dave Rose, team captain of Hypnodisc. These are our team members, Derek and our father Ken. We made a number of improvements this wars, the main one being a much more powerful weapon. It's awesome now, it's going to cause the ultimate destruction.
And just to make things interesting, our 2 house robots in the arena, Sergeant Bash with the long tongue of fearsome flame, and Dead Metal ready to put the squeeze on anything with those punishing pincers. The Rose boys at the controls of Hypnodisc, and there's Anthony Pritchard, controls of Behemoth. The Refbot in the middle of these two things. Behemoth on the charge. Hypnodisc backing away to come forward with an onslaught, but the scoop at the front of Behemoth was too strong, withstood the pressure and the power and the punishment. And this is interesting. I didn't think it would go this far. Look at that. The scoop simply deflecting Hypnodisc away. Is this the sort of style to defeat Hypnodisc? The Behemoth fan club thinks so. Look at this. Bash! Lifting the scoop just at the right time to deflect the disc away. The indestructible disc. And again, just a little flick that pushed Hypnodisc aside. And once again, it's like a toreador dancing away from the bull. The onrushing bull again is Hypnodisc. At the control of Behemoth, Anthony Pritchard. He's a model maker now. By profession is Anthony. And a model lesson here to robot ears everywhere, how to take on Hypnodisc's spinning weapon. Behemoth, they say, cannot be beaten, and they've driven Hypnodisc into the CPZ, and Sergeant Bash has it in its clutches. Look at this. This is a great drive by Behemoth. Out comes the flick of flame from Sergeant Bash's torch. Hypnodisc is going nowhere at the moment, and they know it. They're in trouble. Oh, look at this. Dead Metal's attacking Behemoth. That is bang out of order. He can't do that. And the Refbot quite rightly going in. Is he giving him a yellow card, I wonder? I think he's brandished there, Dead Metal. Yes, he has. The Metal gets a yellow card, quite rightly, so get out of there. I'm arguing with the Refbot. Not in his current mood. Oh dear, Hypnodisc. This is another surprise here. Hypnodisc away from Sergeant Bash, only just spinning on its side and then over. Just away from the clutches, but it was a good attack again by Behemoth. There goes Hypnodisc, finally away, but time is running out on them, they know it. Now they try and get the disc stoked up to its maximum revolution. But facing the wrong way, this is all Behemoth. And it's been a superb display from them. Oh, Dead Metal's coming in again. That was a tackle from behind by Dead Metal. Shouldn't have been in there. Refbot, get involved. No. What is he doing here, Dead Metal? Had no right to take on Behemoth at all. And Behemoth now replying and retaliating, and the Refbot does come in, I think. Yes, indeed he has. He sent Dead Metal back into the CPZ. You cannot come out and play anymore, you naughty boy. Homeboy. And do not come out again. Are we going to see Hypnodisc beaten again like this? I wonder. This is a real clue now for the rest of our competitors. Later on in the series, in all sorts of events. And they will realise they've got work to do. There's Hypnodisc on the flame pit being torched, is going nowhere. The disc is spinning, you can see that wildly. But I think the motors have been burnt out. It is immobile on that flame pit. And this is a crispy end here for Hypnodisc. Driven onto that flame pit by Behemoth. This has certainly been one of the best pieces of robot stylistics we've ever seen in the wars. And an extreme version, Behemoth have seen Hypnodisc counted out. Oh, look at that, they're stunned. I don't think they can believe it either.
From Ash in Hampshire, Wild Thing.
Going extreme with a new giant cutting disc spinning at 6,000 RPM. Also has a SREMEC and is the heavier of the two with a 100 kilo wedge shape, but I don't like the look of the tyres.
Hi, I'm Nick Adams, and this is my son Jake, and this is our robot Wild Thing. It's really wild this year with a fantastic spinning disc, and it's going to take out all the opposition, no problem.
From Huntingdon, Cambridgeshire, Dominator 2.
A unique bi-wedge shape, 12 kilo slam from the pneumatic axe. It has a plasma nitride coated titanium shell, which means it's very tough, apparently.
Hi, we're Team Dominator. We've got Elliot Smart, Chris Hall, myself, Pete Halloway, and not forgetting the star of the show, Dominator.
Roboteers, stand by.
Peter Halloway at the controls of Dominator 2 and Nick Adams, of course, with the Wild Thing family. Dead Metal, one of our two-house robots with a 3,000 RPM saw. And alongside, compatriots Killalot, the petrol-driven engine driving on the crushing floors.
3.
This for a place in the All-Stars quarter-final lineup. Dominator 2 with the power of that axe coming whacking down. And for the first time, really, Wild Thing have got that new spinning disc to work. You just see the jut blades there onto the plasma nitride coated titanium shell. There at the controls of Dominator 2, Peter Halloway, a development engineer by trade. He's developed a fine engine out there with the bi shape, and as long as it goes side by side with Wild Thing, it'll dodge that flywheel mechanism. Also, Wild Thing has the side spikes. You can just see them there, which can help if it needs self-righting. Dominator 2 slowly turning. I think what they're trying to do here is get a side-on attack as well there to get the axe down on the wheels. The wheels of Wild Thing are vulnerable. I thought they might be. But meanwhile, Wild Thing back on the attack. Oh, and there seems to have been some damage there on one of the wheels of Dominator 2. It's the right wheel now. It looks to be tattered. So that weaponry of Wild Thing has caused damage to Dominator 2. Who will be left standing at the end of this one? Suddenly, Dominator 2 is on the defensive and Wild Thing is doing all the work. Coming in again, look, to attack that wheel and the other wheel too. Wild Thing's giant cutting disc, 12 kilos of weight, 2 blades, 6,000 RPM, spinning dangerously, spinning madly, spinning with venom. But Dominator 2, progressive now, getting it underneath Wild Thing. A bit of reverse gear, then turns away onto the arena sidewalk. Down comes the axe. Peter is driving machine. Chris Hall is the robot weapons operator, an electric engineer by trade. Nick Adams, of course, is at the control of Wild Thing. He loves his electric guitar. At the moment, he's strumming a mean tune with the Wild Thing. How's it going now, though? Way across the arena. Both robots have sustained damage, that's for sure, but both are still in there. Tigerish at the end. One robot to go through the quarterfinals, even if the judges will have to decide. The crowd won't like a decision one way or the other. A bit of smoke coming out there. We're into the last 10 seconds. Which robot has sustained the most damage? Which has been the more aggressive? Because I feel sure, and indeed it will now, go to a judge's decision between Wild Thing and Dominator 2. And our three judges marking on style, control, damage, aggression. Let's see if we can find some pointers. Dominator 2, the more aggressive, but now look, missing its target with the axe. Wild Thing, meanwhile, was steadily, side by side, grinding away damage and mounting up the points. I don't know, because Dominator 2 was on the aggressive again, and bang, Wild Thing against the arena sidewall. Look at that, that was a wasted attack. And another, that'll count against it. Poor control, poor style. I think they've made their decision. They have. It's agreed. It's Wild Thing!
From Huntingdon, in Cambridgeshire, Tornado.
It's invertible, runs both ways up. It's the heavier and slower of the two. The 15-kilo spinning disc is new, and it'll come at you like a storm.
Hi, my name's Andrew Marchant. This is Brian Moss. This is David Gamble. We are Team Tornado. Remember how we pushed all the other robots around last year? Well, we're going to do the same this year because we have this. Everybody, beware.
From Lord's Hill in Southampton, 3 Stegs to Heaven.
Grand finalists in the past with Stegosaurus and semi-finalists with Steg 2. They're back with a new robot, a spinning cutter, but they haven't used their full weight allowance, and they could be, therefore, a pushover.
Hi, I'm Peter. This is Danny. That's Richard. This is 3 Stegs to Heaven, and we're going to kick some robot butt.
Engineer Danny King at the controls of 3 Stegs. And there's Andrew Marchant with Tornado. And here are our 2 house robots. The pincer and saw of dead metal. Deadly. Even more formidable. 280 kilos. So, it's Tornado. Immediately advancing like a cold front on 3 Stegs to Heaven. Driving it into the arena sidewalks. 3 Stegs gets away. Can get up to 16 miles an hour, which is fairly quick. Andrew Marchant, electroacoustic engineer at the controls of Tornado, steering 3 Stegs to Heaven around. Always 3 Stegs, dragging it around there. You can see the spinning cutter on the front of 3 Stegs. Grand finalists with Stegosaurus in Series 3, semi-finalists with Steg 2 in Series 4. They'll go no further here. If Sir Killalot has its way, and the crowd want the end of 3 Stegs to Heaven, it's been 3 tottering, teetering, stumbling steps to oblivion. More like steps to heaven. And they're already beaten. They feel they're beaten. The spinning disc is spinning, but they're going nowhere. Look at the great jaws there, right in behind the wheel of 3 Stegs to Heaven. Now Tornado can come in with a side slam. They're not yet immobilised. One wheel is spinning, but the right wheel has stopped. Something's come off it, I think. Something's trailing. A little bit of chain, I think it was. The chain drive of one of the wheels of 3 Stegs is gone. And the armour plating now will give very little protection. From Killalot in there. From Dead Metal in there. And of course the arena floor flipper. Well, it couldn't toss 96 kilos too far. But the destructive damage has surely been done. And Tornado will breeze through here. The crumpling, cold steel effect of Killalot's great crushing jaws. And 3 Stegs to Heaven is spun, flicked, tries to get away. Poor old Danny King. His engineer pals are going nowhere fast, let's be honest. They're trying to limp away using the cutter to gain some sort of forward momentum. It's not going to come. And I think Andrew Marchand and the Tornado Boys have won it. Technically, it has to go to the judges, but they look comfortable enough. You see, Three Stakes wasn't ultimately immobilised, pushed around by Tornado, but Tornado couldn't finish them off. Slammed against the arena wall, they're really way ahead on points. There's Three Stakes being lifted away by a Killalot. Can only be one winner, but the disturbing thing for the Tornado team, they didn't finish them off. Neither did the arena floor flipper either. Wasn't a bag of fun though, was it, for Three Stakes? It wasn't a house robot, nearly the pit, or the flame pit. It was Tornado doing damage. Can only be one winner. And there it is confirmed. It is Tornado and Andrew Marchand's team victorious through to the quarterfinals of the All-Stars.
From St Leonard's-on-Sea, Gemini.
A cluster bot, you see, it splits in two with a high-powered flippers and experienced team. When they split, though, are they too lightweight to cause danger twice as nice or double jeopardy?
From Bournemouth, Razor.
One of the most popular robots ever, currently reigning world champion. The crushing beak is formidable, part bird. The lizard-like limbs on the side to self-right, part reptile. The robot, wholly mean machine.
Roboteers, stand by.
Gemini has to link together before they activate. Shane Howard on the left, Brian Fountain on the right, little Darryl Howard in the middle. And Razor with the robot driver. Ian Lewis there on the left. Simon Scott in the middle, Vinnie Blood on the right. And our house robots, Matilda with a weighted rear flywheel and the front tusks, a sort of porcine elephant first lady of bots. And Shunt, plenty of power, a pushy sort of a fellow, nice enough, unless you cross his path.
3, 2, 1, activate.
You'll see Gemini split immediately. That's their usual tactic, and Razor going in with a crushing beak on the vulnerable top of Gemini, trying to crumple and crush down through the armoury, and already has a grip. Don't forget, if one part of Gemini is immobilised, that's it. The whole robot is counted out. Together they dance. Gemini trying to free itself with the lifting ramp. Can't do so. So the other part of the clusterbot will get in and try and flick Razor. Oh, look! They tumble together there. You ever seen fighting crabs on a beach? That's what they look like, tumbling over together. Look at Razor's self-righting, wings coming out, upside down, still with strength. Gemini away, Matilda comes in, trying to flick Gemini over with the tusks. Razor spinning away, gleaming steel machine with the sort of front low scoop. Now that's an addition, you'll see it very low down, zero ground clearance there, you see it on the front. A sort of ramp to get in underneath opponents. Has done that now with Gemini. Gemini brilliantly designed, but how much effective weaponry is there when they split? Well, you've just got the answer to that. Razor has been turned turtle again, and still locking on to Gemini, using the beak and that front ramp, if you like, as a jaw mechanism to hold on. Terrific stuff here. It's even Steven. See the damage done to one of those Gemini clusterbots there on the right-hand side? Scarred, certainly. This one hasn't had any damage yet, this part of the clusterbot. And that's what Razor's after. Trying to cause as much mayhem as he can. He's got in underneath here. Oh, and there is the damage. Listen to the popping of the tyre. Like a balloon popping there. That was an amazing attack by Razor. It's let Gemini go. But the damage there could be crucial if this goes to a judge's decision. And with time seeping away, I think it may well do. Good drive by Razor betwixt and between. Saw the pincer movement, got away from it. Now Gemini coming again. Razor, oh! It got a lick of flame up the rear end, and it wasn't a good piece of driving. It'll have to go to the judges. Will that count against them? Let's have a look at the action again, shall we? Gemini, the two robots took punishment from Razor. That's definite. That was the first attack that left a scar. Good work by the Gemini clusterbot to throw Razor. Razor self-righting. All this good point scoring by Razor and indeed the Gemini clusterbots too. This was this crumpling moment. Look at that. Is that decisive? I think it may well be. Well, I'm waiting for the decision. So are the crowd. We'll see the decision as it comes through. They've given it to Razor! Razor the winners on the judges' decision. And they'll fly on to the All-Stars quarterfinals later in the series.
So let's do this thing right here, right now, in the war zone. And first up, raise that roof for Stinger!
From Branston, Lincoln, Stinger.
Grand finalist in the fourth series of Robot Wars, the spiked bludgeoning device is back, attached to 2 spherical wheels and the solid steel tail. All the motors, batteries and power electronics are mounted in the wheels.
Hi, we're the Stinger team. I'm Kevin Scott, team captain. This is Carl Skinner and Tim Mann. The three of us put this creation together. We came third in the last wars and we're looking to go all the way with an axe and 2 wheels.
And taking them on, runners-up in the 4th Wars, ranked 2nd in the UK, Pussycat!
From Gloucester, Pussycat.
Robot Wars veterans, the rotary blade powered by a 24-brake horsepower motor can cause real problems. The chassis is aluminium and polycarbonate, hand-painted by the captain's wife.
Hi, we're the Cold Fusion team. I'm Al Gribble. This is Dave, the driver, Robert, our weapons man, and this is our robot Pussycat. This is our new two-tooth blade, which will cut through just about anything.
Roboteers, stand by.
And so, the mad mechanical masher that is Stinger. In the controls, Kevin Scott, Carl Skinner and Tim Mann. And there's Pussycat, David Gribble at the controls, Alan, his father in there, and Robert Bettington. And our final house robots in the show, Dead Metal, those pincers so threatening, that saw so destructive, and his pal Sir Killalot, huge, ominous, heavy of heart. Why? Killalot, we must talk, sit down, chat, go over things, sort it out.
3, 2, 1.
Pussycat from the right-hand side, Stinger, spinning as we know they will do, with Kevin Scott and Carl Skinner and Tim Mann at the controls, and Pussycat's gone over and the blade impaled on the arena floor. That is the strength and power of the blade, and did you see the slice out of the arena, coming back on the attack? For me, Pussycat has to be among the top 2 or 3 robots in the world right now, not just the UK. Chasing Stinger down onto the sidewall, Stinger spinning crazily once again. And oh, is it too crazy? I think I saw some padding out of the tyre. Let's have a look to see if there's padding coming out of the tyre, because if there is. It means the actual remote control aerial which is in there is now suspect and maybe damaged. Are they out of control? We'll wait and see. Or is it just good but superficial damage caused by the Pussycat blade? Well, that's a controlled attack by Stinger, so I think you've got your answer. Down comes the bludgeoning device, the mace, the spike, call it what you will, of the Stinger team. Kevin Scott at the controls. Pussycat wheels away to come in with another attack. He said, well, David Gribble said he was going to rip out that control link, remember? Earlier in the programme. He hasn't lived up to that boast so far. That's just very good driving again, though, by Pussycat. Into reverse, turning, coming back. Little body feint dummy. Drawing Stinger on now, but drawn on to the pincers of Dead Metal very nearly, and Stinger is really coming back into this with a couple of bashes with the bludgeoning device. Again, closing down the angle. Pussycat turning to come back on the attack once again, trying to get at that rear axle of Stinger. Stinger dodges, down comes the bludgeon. This is a very, very good battle. You can see the damage there onto one of the tyres of Stinger. Do you see it? As it goes away to live, to fight another day. Together, mutual respect perhaps in the arena there, eyeing each other up. In comes Stinger. Not a good attack, went wayward to one side. Again, Pussycat dodging. Very good driving by young David Gribble to dodge the mace. This is too close for me to call, I think. Something's come out there in the tyre, a bit of padding. In comes Pussycat. I might have done just enough if it goes to the judges. Still time, though, for Stinger to come back with a couple of mighty swings of that mace. Pussycat frontal attack this time. The cat's claws rip into Stinger. The cat dodges nimbly to one side. Puts the brakes on, almost like a handbrake turn there. Oh, it goes to the judges. That was a mighty battle, wasn't it? They truly are all stars.
Too close to call. It's going to have to go to the judges. While they're making up their minds, let's review some of the highlights of that fantastic battle.
Oh, I wouldn't be one of those judges for all the tea in China. Attack after attack. Pussycat causing damage, slicing down to the wheel there, removing the stuffing. Stinger back and in control. Down came the mace. Once. In underneath Pussycat. Trying to spin to cause damage. Pussycat, good driving, good control, backing away. The big question maybe the judges were asking, was at any stage Stinger out of control?
Well, the judges have made their decision. Remember, they're looking at style, control, damage and aggression. And they've gone for Pussycat! Come on, Pussycat!
Ipswich, Chaos 2.
The CO2 flipper is one of the most powerful we've ever seen. It's now improved at 20 miles an hour. Chaos is quicker than the cheese. It's 16 kilos lighter, and they could be in trouble if their opponents get in and underneath them. In their first heat in the Extreme All-Stars, look at the power of the flipper against Exterminator once and twice. On the attack, full frontal. The slam. Exterminator had no answer.
From Landport, Wheelie Big Cheese.
This is the biggest titanium flipper in Robot Wars. Can throw a car. They say the wheels are spiked. They were beaten in the first round heat in the third Wars by Chaos 2, and they want revenge. This is how they beat Dietor in their first round heat of the Extreme All-Stars. The flipper is so powerful, it actually turns Wheelie Big Cheese over.
Roboteers, stand by.
Chaos 2, the reigning British robot champion, with George Francis, Ian Swan and his son Richard, the teammates. And Wheelie Big Cheese, another superb competitor. It's Roger Plant's creation. Big Murray Wharf with him there. Just to make things spicier, we've thrown in two house robots, Dead Metal with the pincer and the saw, and alongside him, Shunt with the diamond-edged axe, the scoop, and the great pushing power. This should be a thriller. Immediately Chaos 2, bumping underneath Wheelie Big Cheese. Goes for another run, Chaos 2, to try and get in under Wheelie Big Cheese, simply bounces away. The ground clearance of Chaos 2, 0.01 of a centimetre, very low, but Wheelie Big Cheese needs to get on the attack, try and get in underneath, and at the moment, it's Chaos 2 and George Francis, the reigning British champions, won the last two series of Robot Wars, in the main event, doing all the attacking work here. Again, just tossing Wheelie Big Cheese up in the air. I think that's easy to do. The cheese weighs 99 kilograms, just think about that. It's 1 meter 32 long. It's nearly a meter wide. It's huge. And in come the house robots now. Shunt and Dead Metal pushing away. The hydraulically powered lifting flipper again opens and closes. Wheelie Big Cheese like a great bird's beak. Chaos 2 underneath that beak. For me, George Francis is on top in this battle. The cheese backing away. See the studs, the spikes on the wheels there to give extra traction, but you can't get traction if you're being thrown through the air, Roger Plant. Now they can nudge back on Chaos 2. Close encounters of the robot kind. This is tight, isn't it? But I think so far Chaos 2 are on top. The place in the All-Stars semi-finals at stake, and we're into the last 10 seconds, so it could well go to a judge's decision. They'll decide on style control, damage and aggression any second now. It'll go to the judges. Competitive, but I thought they were both a little nervy.
A very inconclusive fight. We're going to have to ask the judges on that one. Well, they're making up their minds. Let's have a look at the highlights of that battle.
Well, Chaos 2 are certainly the early aggressors, but they didn't cause great damage. Really Big Cheese, very solid, bouncing down, backing on to Chaos 2. Not great style and control there then, nor from Chaos. Opened itself up for an attack. Chaos 2 the more aggressive. That might just swing it, might.
And the judges have made their decision. It's unanimous. They've gone for the two-time British champions, Chaos 2!
From Durham, Firestorm 3.
They beat Panic Attack to reach this Extreme All-Stars quarter-final with the effective flipping arm, has primary and secondary motors, is just the faster at 12 miles an hour, but will the Storm blow itself out here? Key here in the first round heat was getting in underneath Panic Attack despite the new protective skirts. Then the Welsh robot couldn't self-right when pressed against the arena side wall. Wild Thing, though, says they will be able to self-right. We'll wait and see.
From Ash in Hampshire, Wild Thing.
We haven't seen the best from the new giant cutting disc, certainly not 6,000 RPM, which they boast. Electric twin motors make this a fast wedge with its own Shremek. This is how it got past Dominator 2 in the first round heat of the All-Stars competition. This was very, very competitive. That's the great spinning disc, and it caused real damage to Dominator's tyres. It went to a judge's decision that Wild Thing was on top and justifiably went through to this stage. Firestorm team, Graham Bone at the controls, Alex Mordew and Hazel Heslop there as well. And Wild Thing, the Adams family. Luda, Nick Adams, daughter Isabel, son Jake. Dead Metal is one of our house robots here. Synergy of weapons, the strength. Alongside, once again, Shunt can push just about anything. Two classic wedge-shaped robots here. Firestorm's fur, by the way, is a lucky talisman supplied by the Diotor team from Ireland. Very popular in the pits at the moment. It's a fur brain scheme because the fur is being peeled off by Dead Metal. It's on the chase now, but Wild Thing gets in from behind. I wonder if that fur will get tangled up in Wild Thing's circular weaponry. 12 kilos of weight behind that weapon. Two cutting blades spinning at 6,000 RPM top speed. The side spikes as well. Underneath, though, Wild Thing goes Firestorm with the little flipper. But there you see the Wild Thing Shremek, the Shremek arm. So therefore negating Firestorm's flipper. This is a much improved Wild Thing in this series of Extreme, I must say. Making a much better fist of it. Semi-finalists in Series 3 and Series 4. Bags of experience then. Both these teams, actually. Wild Thing, a more aggressive, side-on attack. And that's good defensive work by Firestorm. They're preventing Wild Thing getting in behind, and Wild Thing into the side arena. And that means Dead Metal can come in there. Dead Metal's own great saw. There's Shunt. And Wild Thing is a risk here from Dead Metal on the left, Shunt on the right-hand side. Getting away from the pincers, but only just, as there'd been damage to the weapon. Let's see if the weapon's working. A light flickers on there. Wild Thing's always had lurid paintwork. There's one eye working anyway, twinkling red, but I can't see the saw going round the circular blade. I don't think that's working at the moment. And Firestorm sensed that. I wonder if it's changed things. It has! Wild Thing suddenly on the defensive. This whole battle has been turned on its head. Firestorm with a great chance now. Wild Thing trying to self-right. And the self-righting arm has actually pinned it immobile on the arena floor. And they are going to be counted out, Wild Thing. The pin release button has been activated. And Wild Thing, totally in command, have been beaten. Well, that is a major turnabout. I couldn't see that happening, not halfway through that battle. Oh, Wild Thing, you used to make our heart sing, but no more. Into the pit. And Firestorm coming in on the attack. What on earth was that about? They're already through to the semi-finals. They don't need to risk themselves. And I don't think the house robots are going to like that. No shunt, look. Trying to axe the CO2 canister. Firestorm crazy. Cease. What on earth are they doing? And they're still involved, look. After the cease, they want to rumble. This was madness, but great fun. Great courage, with a little bit crazy.
What a great fight! What an absolutely brilliant fight! Firestorm go through!
From Bournemouth in Dorset, Razor.
This series, they have a larger front scoop and the crushing beak powered by a 5-piston radial hydraulic pump. 2 trolley shock caddy motors can drive up to 11 miles an hour. They had a couple of problems to deal with in the first round of the All-Stars in the shape of the Clusterbot Gemini. First Gemini machine, completely immobilized by the crushing beak. And the second one, spiked, crumpled, retired, very probably. Razor through. Look at that.
From Hemel Hempstead, Vermont.
15 kilos heavier than in the last war, so more weight behind the scoop. The shell is titanium, the motor power 24 volts. This can lift up to 300 kilos. Behemoth landed a stunning victory against Hypnodisc. The disc flew too near the flames, the moths survived. Hypnodisc clawed by Sergeant Bash. And the roses failed to bloom on this occasion. And it was Anthony Pritchard and his brother in Kane Aston who went through with Behemoth. No damage sustained really to the scoop either by Hypnodisc's devilish blade. Hypnodisc torched.
Roboteers, stand by.
There's Behemoth then. Anthony Pritchard at the controls, brother Michael and Kane Aston just out of your picture to the right, and Razor, Ian Lewis on the left-hand side, Simon Scott, and then Vinnie Blood on the right. And in the arena with them, our Knight of the Realm, Sir Killalon at 280 kilos. And alongside, battling hard as well for our cause, Shunt with the axe and the scoop, driven by the electric motor.
3, 2.
Terrific fight this. Razor on the attack. And with that new sort of improved front scoop, very difficult for anything to get in underneath Razor. And it can also act as the second part of a pincer with the beak crushing down. And Behemoth scoop has got into that crushing zone. And the scoop is being buckled and bent now by Razor. And is Behemoth indestructible? Look at that. The scoop is simply being buckled by Razor, but Behemoth driving Razor back here. Great power by Behemoth, pushing at a top speed of 7 miles an hour. Were they being dragged by Razor there, or were they pushing? Razor comes on a side attack. Maybe trying to get to one of those self-righting Behemoth arms, just to simply break it off. I think Behemoth and Anthony Pritchard at the controls know they have a real fight on here. Oh! The scoop though into play, and Razor turned over. Turn turtle. Can Razor use the beak and also the side wings to self-right? You see the wings coming out there? They've got little spikes on them. to try and help themselves right, but not if Behemoth is driving them across the arena floor. Now, if Behemoth can keep Razor in there, can press down with the scoop, not lift with the scoop, it can lift, as we said to you beforehand, 300 kilos. What's the pressing power of it? Not much. Because of the damage sustained there to Behemoth, they couldn't press Razor down. Is Razor okay? Is there power in Razor? They're trying to self-right. They need to get away and come on the attack again. Very, very good skills there from the Razor team, from Ian Lewis at the controls, to get away and live to fight another day. Here they come, on the side charge, on Behemoth, and again down comes the crushing arm of Razor, this time simply slicing through the chassis of Behemoth, causing as much damage as they possibly can there to the very chassis of Behemoth, which is in real trouble here now. There's the ref bot, there's the clock, counting down. It'll go to the judges. This has been a magnificent fight. Both robots have sustained damage. Both have been aggressive. Both have had great control of Behemoth right at the end of Slip Razor. It goes to the judges, but Behemoth on the attack right at the end. Goodness me, what a battle that was in the All-Stars. Let's look at this again. Whoa, you can feel the pain in the Behemoth team as they see their great scoop bucket being buckled there by the Razor beak. But even then, Behemoth came back on the attack at the end. This is really tight, really very, very tight.
And the judges have made their decision. It's unanimous. It's quite controversial. They've gone for Razor!
From Gloucester, Pussycat.
Currently rated one of the best two robots in the UK. They're veterans of Robot Wars. The rotary blade, powered by a 24 brake horsepower motor, can cause real problems. That's what Stinger found out in the first round of the All-Stars. The cutting blade through the tyres, ripping out the protective foam guarding the electrics. And Pussycat went through. Stinger well and truly stunned.
From Huntingdon, Tornado.
Very strong, runs on 4 wheels. The 15-kilo spinning disc is dangerous. But was there damage to the two 750-watt motors in the mayhem earlier, I wonder? In the first round, they used their whole 97 kilos of weight to push 3 stakes to heaven around the arena floor, nudge it into the CPZ, and in came the house robots to finish Stegs and send Tornado through.
Roboteers, stand by.
Tornado, a team of engineers, Andrew Marchant in the middle there, David Gamble to the left, Brian Moss to the right with the long hair, and Pussycat with the blade, Alan Gribble designed it, he's on the right, Robert Bettington next to him, and David Gribble at the controls. Our house robots, Shunt with the prototype electric motor, and alongside the powerful pushing Shunt, Circular Lot can crush and spear at will.
3, 2, 1.
This for a place in the semi-finals of the All-Stars contest. Tornado immediately whipping up a storm, pushing Pussycat into the flame. Out comes Pussycat with the patented Pussy blade. Slammed by Tornado once again. There the blades spinning dangerously. Cutting. Slicing. Oh, tyres come off! Where's that come off? It's come off Pussycat! Ripped away! Look at this! Pussycat onto the angle grinder on the side of the arena, and it was the angle grinder that simply ripped away one of the Pussycat paws. The wheel has gone. Has the plan gone with it? Tornado drives the Pussycat on again. Can run either way up, Pussycat. Don't worry about that if it's turned and toppled, but there is the major damage that they can't get any traction to get out. There comes Shunt with a diamond edge blade, and Pussycat holding on now for their very lives. Shunt almost pulled over Tornado with a nudge and a push. Pussycat flicked over. Okay. In goes Tornado again. Pussycat has to dodge, get away. Won't be enough though. It'll have to come back on the attack sooner or later to get points. Does so. Turns. Gets the blade onto the top of Tornado. I don't think there was any damage whatsoever to the welded steel frame though of Tornado there. Tornado, a side push. Trying to perhaps get Pussycat onto the angle grinders again. Look on the arena side walls. This is a relentless robot, Tornado. Doesn't know when to stop. And again, Pussycat pushed onto the angle grinder. Luckily, got away, but you can see their damage to the chassis of the Pussycat. It's on the underbelly now. You can see it's bent there. Do you see? Sliced and bent. Real trouble caused by Tornado's push, and the Pussycat's going nowhere. Without that one wheel, they can't right themselves. They do now. They've got into the CPZ. Need to get away from Kilolot's lance and the crushing jaw. For me, this is a real surprise. Pussycat lacking control, of course, now. Damage has been sustained. If it goes to the judges, there can only be one winner. And it wouldn't be those Pussycat boys. Shunt causing damage to the cat. The 9 lives have run out. The cat's claws ripped away. Tornado, the cat's whiskers out there, I can tell you. Onto the jet of flame from the arena floor. Pussycat is being torched. It's the end of the cat. The cat of 9 tails will tell no more tales here in the arena. One of the other tyres has been ripped apart there. Off the wheel, and Kilolot's on fire! Kilolot is on fire! The Refbot's in there! I don't think we've ever seen that, the Refbot using the fire extinguisher. Oh, Kilolot, what's happened to you, mate? Are we sympathetic? Well, I am, because he lives near me, and you don't want to rough Kilolot up, I can tell you. Oh, dear! Ashes to ashes, Kilolot. Look at the eyes. We want revenge later. How good does that feel? Put yourself out. Well, there can be one winner in the contest, but they caused damage to Kilolot in the end.
So, are you ready for some All-Stars action? Good. And hoping for a place in that final. Go ballistic for Firestorm!
A wedge-shaped robot with the flipping arm, just the heavier here at 100 kilos, the faster too at 12 miles an hour. Electric power to ignite our Firestorm. This is how they got to the semi-final, beating Panic Attack, the former British champions. Look at the head-on driving style of Firestorm to get in underneath and exploit any high ground clearance. And then they have that flipping arm, the kinetic weapon. They then beat Wild Thing in the quarterfinals. No real contest here. Wild Thing had the spinning disc, but Firestorm driving full on again, repeatedly. Too aggressive, too control. Good stuff.
And standing in their path, let it rip for the world champions, the mighty Razor!
Razor's beak is the envy of many. Crushability high, speed 11 miles an hour moderate, reliability from 2 trolley shop caddy motors has been low in the past, but overall, a mean machine. In the first round, they met Gemini. Twice as nice. No, we'll have a slice. Razor clutched on with the beak and the front scoop. Pierced, dented, destroyed. Look at that. You are talking enormous power. They next took on Behemoth in the quarterfinal. This was closer, surprisingly so. The judges gave it to Razor because of that damage caused to Behemoth.
Roboteers, stand by.
Firestorm at the controls. Graham Bone, Alex Mordew, Hazel Heslop, Graham's girlfriend in there as well. And Razor, Ian Lewis driving. There he is on the left. Simon Scott in the middle and Vinnie Blood too in that box. And Matilda, look at the tusks, look at the flywheel. Tough. And perhaps tougher still, Shunt. That axe, diamond-edged and gleaming.
3, 2, 1.
We're down to the 4 best robots around. Firestorm and Razor, 2 of them. Razor immediately puncturing Firestorm's flipping weapon. Look at that, crumpling, buckling and bending. Firestorm went on the all-out onslaught attack as we knew they would, and immediately coming to grief. And Razor literally ripping through that flipping arm. Clinging on now. And Firestorm, I think their main hope would be to push Razor if they can towards a pit or towards an angle grinder. Get away. Come back in, try and get in underneath. But what damage has been caused is that flipping arm now out of action. Look, it's bent. Metal almost ripped from the very frame. They're going in again to puncture. Well, this is very one-sided and surprisingly so. Firestorm, they can still operate that weapon. Alex Mordew, if he can have a chance. The student, the 21-year-old. Razor, oh, triumphantly there. Lifting Firestorm aloft and holding it in the air. The crowd loved it. Great performance this by Razor. Theatrical. Showboating, really. Now, Firestorm, what can they do? Again, it's that frontal attack, trying to flip, but it's kamikaze in the end. They're now in the CPZ, which means, of course, Matilda can come into play with the tusks and the drive. Oh, turning and getting the flywheel and also inviting Shunted for some of the action with the axe. Poor old Firestorm there, taking tremendous damage here. They may well survive to go to a judge's decision. I think they are going to now, but look at the damage caused by those Razor boys. They think they've won it. I'd be amazed if they haven't. And Firestorm, look at that, the face of defeat. Razor immediately just puncturing any Firestorm hopes. After the Firestorm head-on attack. It was their one tactic. They knew they had to go in on the attack, Firestorm. This was magnificent here. Razor knew at that point they'd won it.
Well, the judges have made a decision. It's no surprise, no controversy. The robot that can put 1,000 perforations into every robot's gone through. The winners are Razor! Come on, lads! So, they're battling for the second place in that All-Stars final. Go Extreme for Tornado!
Praise has rained down on this since they were just defeated by Chaos in the last British Championship semi-finals. The 2,000 RPM vertical spinning disc can put the wind up anything, and it's as ferocious as a cyclone. In the first All-Stars round, no competition, 3 stakes to heaven, driven on towards Killalot and out of the competition, rammed repeatedly and finished off in style. And then look at this for a victory against Pussycat in the quarterfinals. Off came the cat's wheel. It was Tornado, the cat's whiskers, certainly. I think this has been massively impressive and underrated. Tornado, one to watch.
And 2 times Robot Wars UK champion, Raise the Roof for Chaos 2!
This machine has never been beaten in major contests. 20 miles an hour top speeds, brilliantly driven by George Francis, with a CO2-powered pneumatic flipper having some kick, I can tell you. Chaos 2 in the All-Stars, first of all, got rid of Exterminator. You can see how George Francis here gets the flipper in underneath. He'll exploit any high ground clearance. Wheelie Big Cheese again fell foul of the flipper. Look at the kick on it. Can anyone kick Chaos 2 into touch? I doubt it on the evidence of what we've seen so far in Extreme.
Roboteers, stand by.
Chaos 2, reigning British champion with George Francis at the controls. Thumbs up from him, Ian and Richard Swan there with him. And Tornado, driven by Andrew Marchant, robot foreman David Gamble, the weapon operator Brian Moss. Our house robots, Dead Metal in the arena there. And fighting our cause, the bull-nosed, lion-hearted Shunt.
3, 2, 1.
Tornado on the right, Chaos on the left-hand side. Oh! Chaos 2 has flipped itself! Up and over! Well, they came in there with an attack that was too premature and not judged. A rare mistake by George Francis, and Shunt is out after the kill, and Tornado senses that perhaps an upset victory could be on the cards here and a place in the All-Stars final. Tornado has his fan club. I must admit, I've been a growing fan here on the evidence of what we've seen in Extreme so far. And George Francis on the back foot throughout this semi-final because of that early mistake. They came in, they mistimed the flipper, and all of a sudden, he's got work to do here to gain points back if it should go to a judges. Is that flipper stuck open now? We've seen it before. When it gets stuck, there could be problems. No, I think they're okay. But Tornado once again doing the pushing, and don't forget, this time around, Tornado has that blade in front, that circular drum saw. Chaos 2 with a great flip. Tornado's up and over. It's invertible, coming on both ways up. Driving Chaos 2 back into the CPZ again. In comes Dead Metal with the pincers. It's got Chaos 2 in its grip. Chaos 2 trying to flip and get out of that CPZ. Tremendous battle. Down comes the saw here of Dead Metal. Onto the flipper of Chaos 2. A concerted effort by Tornado to get in underneath there, look. Trying to rip the heart out of Chaos 2. Staying out of the way of Dead Metal and also shut the red bot. You just saw having a glance. Chaos 2 in real trouble here. Could this be a first ever defeat for Chaos 2? This version of George Francis's veteran machine trying to get it away and out of danger. Tornado on the attack. They can sense victory here. They're after Chaos 2. Hunting, harrying, chasing into the CPZ. Good tactics there by Tornado. Oh, Dead Metal's got the wrong one. I don't think he should have been able to do that because Chaos 2 was forced into the CPZ by Tornado. Dead Metal got the wrong robot. They should have attacked Chaos 2. Well, that is very interesting because the whole tide could be turned now with Tornado up on its side. And the ref bot is going in to have a look and see what he can do. And Tornado unfairly pinned onto the arena sidewall. No, this is not right. Shunt is going in there and having a go at Tornado. Very much on top here. The ref bot quite rightly seeing what he can do here, almost to right Tornado, I would have said, and right or wrong, it was a wrong. And that's quite correct. Well done, the referee. And Tornado back in play. Ooh, they don't like that, but it's correct. It was a good decision. Chaos 2, though, senses perhaps it could have turned things around here. There was the flip on Tornado. Look at the dents, the scratches. The damage caused to Chaos 2. I don't think George Francis has ever been in a battle like this. Tornado on the drive again. They've recovered their senses. In underneath. Piggyback for Chaos 2 against the arena wall. They're up on top of Tornado now. It is relentless, Tornado. It drives, turns, drives again. Push, shove, brilliant stuff. It'll go to the judges. He's a worried man. Tornado, have they won it? Goodness me, what a performance. Let's have a look at it again. Chaos 2, mistiming the initial onslaught. Tornado immediately on the counter-attack. That was the story of the early stages. All Tornado. The occasional flip by Chaos 2. Then Tornado pushed Chaos into the CPZ. Good style and control. Chaos 2 got out, was pushed back in again. But Dead Metal then wrongly attacked Tornado. And I wonder if that took the impetus out of Tornado from then on in. And it made the fight more close than it might perhaps have been. This is going to be a very close decision for the judges.
Well, the judges have made their decision. Remember, they're looking at style, control, damage, and aggression. This one's a turn up for the books. They've gone for Tornado! Come on, you guys. This is the final. I said, are you ready for it? That's the business. And give it even louder for our first All-Stars finalist, the mighty, the world champion, the Razor! And go absolutely berserk. Let's hear it for Tornado!
The reigning world and international champions, crushability factor high. Good top speed, 11 miles an hour. But it broke down in the last series of Robot Wars.
Hi, I'm Simon Scott, captain, Team Razor.
I'm Ian Lewis, world-class driver.
Vincent Blood, master tactician.
The vertically mounted 2,000 RPM 15 kilo spinning disc can whip up a storm, and this can push with the force of a hurricane.
Hi, my name's Andrew Marchant. This is Brian Moss. This is David Gamble. We are Team Tornado.
Roboteers, stand by.
The final battle of Robot Wars Extreme has Sergeant Bash in the arena too, with the flamethrower and the pincers. And alongside our sergeant, taking his orders perhaps, Shunt with the axe and the scoop, the pushing power, the electric motor.
3, 2,
Tornado from the right-hand side. Razor immediately, though, with a beak on the attack, trying to penetrate the very shell of Tornado, crumpling and grinding. Part beak, part bird, part reptile. The whole is deadly. The spinning wheels of Tornado try and gain some purchase. Until we hear a puncture, it will try and gain purchase. I'm not too sure if one of those tyres has been punctured, but certainly the machine's shape has been crumpled, and to withstand that sort of punishment, Tornado must be a remarkable machine. But can they now launch any sort of counter-attack? Razor has them here, clawed, beaked, pulled, torn, dropped. Tornado, what power is there on that left-hand side of the machine? We'll wait and see. Can get up to 10 miles an hour. Is it one-sided now? Lopsided. Tornado is not running freely. Once again, Razor on the attack in this All-Stars final. Simon Scott, Ian Lewis the driver, Vinny Blood there. Hard as teak with that old beak. Into the tyre it plunges once again. Tornado all of a sudden is looking a tired out old thing there in the war zone. In the arena, it cannot get away from Razor with the intense crushability. 2 trolley shot caddy motors driving up to 11 miles an hour for Razor. Doesn't need to get up any speed because it has Tornado in its clutches. And poor old Andrew Marchant, the driver of Tornado, can do nothing against Simon Scott's team. It has been mightily effective in Robot Wars Extreme, but it has more than met its match against the world champions Razor, the international champions Razor. It's punctured now. The skin of Tornado, trying to get through to the very motors in there now. The 36-volt motors of Tornado. There is no life in that machine. Axed by the house robot. The ref bot takes a cursory glance. Sergeant Bash waits as well. Pit, 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 they cry. There's a lick of flame from the arena floor. Tornado, torch, scorn, burned, but not shame. There goes Razor, onto the pit release button. You can see it flashing, see the pit descending. It's all over for Tornado. They'll end up in the pit ultimately, but after being counted out by the ref bot, Razor, worthy winners of our All-Stars final, worthy champions of Robot Wars Extreme, as all that is left to do is snuff out the tornado, dampen down the hurricane, quieten the whirlwind. We have put the wind up you, says Razor, and in the end, let's be honest, it wasn't even a close shave. Sergeant Bash and Shunt come in with the last rites for a very brave, battling machine. Andrew Marchant, David Gamble and Brian Moss can be proud. Tornado, of course, holders of the challenge belt, beaten 3 stakes to heaven on their way through. Then the spiteful Pussycat. The awesome Chaos went as well in the semi-finals. But here, Tornado, ignominiously flipped from the arena floor, bashes and crashes, splintered, hopes tattered. Boing, it came down, but there is no bounce left in Tornado. No bounce in the step. It is a long and steady and agonizing, inch by inch, funereal procession towards the pit of oblivion. In comes Razor with a slight shove. Razor has the last word. Tornado has the last rites.